Break. Now, governors of the 36 states of the Federation say they have been introducing different strategies and measures to end the current economic hardship and food crisis in their states. In a report signed by its acting head of media, Halima Salihu Ahmed, the Nigerian Governors Forum said the governors were committed to ending the pain and suffering of citizens in the land. The NGF report disclosed that Kwara State's governor and chairman of the NGF, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, in collaboration with the governors Abu Kefas of Taraba State, Lucky Aidatiwa of Ondo State, and Ahmed Ododo of Kogi State, were pushing for increase of crop production through the Federal Ministry of Agriculture to address food shortages. Now, we will open the phone line, of course, to hear your take on these efforts made from some of the governors, and also to hear if you appreciate the effort that your own governors are doing respectively in tackling food crisis and the economic hardship in the country. So we want to hear from you when you call in. Let us know the states you're calling from, or the states you represent, and of course tell us what you think about your own governor. We need to we keep pushing Abdullahi for not only holding, calling on the president, holding him accountable, but also holding, the other heads, the other people.
They say the proof of, the pudding is in eating it. If all the governors are doing well, Nigerians wouldn't be groaning.
Indeed.
So it's contradictory. It's ironic that the governors think that they're doing well and that they're attempting to address, or they're addressing this situation significantly, but yet Nigerians are complaining day by day about food prices, about the economic hardship, about all of these things. I know it's something that is on the concurrent list as far as addressing all of these economic issues are concerned, from the federal to the subnationals. But I think this is just grandstanding, trying to pat themselves on the back, saying that they're doing well, when clearly, if everything is going well, Nigerians wouldn't be in the situation that they're in right now. So it will be interesting.
Effort.
Yeah, it will be interesting to hear what Nigerians have to say about this particular development regarding the performance of these governors. And just before we came back on air, you were talking about the few governors that stand out.
Yes.
Your Alex Otis, the Zulum.
Yeah, because
there are not so many governors that you can mention. Yeah, but apparently, I think we have someone on the line somewhere.
All right. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Your name and location, please. I think we can't hear you. Can you be a bit louder? Speak up, please.
Hello, good morning. Okay,
right.
Rules of engagement. Turn down the volume of your TV set. Most people call in
and want to hear their voice.
Yeah, so please turn down the volume of your TV set. It does not allow for a smooth conversation, and that interference or the delay in feedback itself is not good for a smooth conversation. So try and be as articulate as possible, and of course also get straight to the point.
Yes.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I am Monday Ifri. I'm calling from Bokoda in the local government area of Ondo State.
Of Kogi?
Of Kogi?
Yeah.
Oh, from Ondo State.
Ondo, please,
good
I would want the director to just tone the volume a bit, because we can't really understand.
Yeah, so go ahead. Tell us about Ondo. Are you satisfied with the way the governor is addressing the concerns around the economy and the hard climate?
Yeah. I love it. But my little advice to them, especially my governor of Ondo State, is that money should be disposed to the villagers who are into proper
honestly farming. I can't get good. Can you get what he's saying? We need the volume a bit turned on.
Yeah. Can you speak up a little bit? Can you speak up a little bit, Mr. Monday?
I said the governor should be. My only advice is that my governor should give that intensive to local farmer in the village, so for them to go into this is farming season. So for them to go in proper for farming, because most of this incentive of money farmers ends up in the hands of the politicians. Right. They don't get to those of us in the rural area who are proper farming. So I welcome the idea. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monday. And I think that is quite telling. You know how some of these interventions are designed and then they don't get to the people that they are designated to impact. And, you know, it ends up in the hands of politicians and things like that. So I think to his point is that while the government is trying to inject some of these funds, especially into farming and agriculture, generally speaking, it doesn't get to smallholder farmers who are at the local level waiting for this intervention.
Indeed. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Are you with us? Okay, I think we lost that call. I think we lost the call.
Okay.
Please go ahead, call the number on your screen and tone down the volume of your TV set before you talk to us. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes. Your name and location, please.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, we're with you. Your name and location, please.
I'm Onyebuchi, calling from Kogi State.
Okay, Onyebuchi, thank you for joining us from Kogi. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hello?
Yeah, we can
go ahead,
please.
We can hear
you. Concerning for what you people are asking for, are you satisfied with governance interventions? Here I can tell you that the governor have tried, like, let me call it 70% in this Kogi State. Okay. Even the previous one and the current one now, I can see the man is trying to put everything in order.
How so?
Hello?
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead. How so?
How is he trying, in your view?
As I'm saying here, I can see all the, because our people say something that you wear in your hand, you don't need to use mirror to watch it. I can see both infrastructure, both to other things, mention for the future, is trying. That's what I want to say. I'm Onyebuchi from Kogi State.
Okay, thank you so much for calling in. Right, thank you so much for calling in. And, you know, the interesting thing about this is that you have people calling in from different states and they have different points of view about performances. So you expect that these views would vary from one person to another depending on their perspective of the impact of every state governor. But the governors apparently are speaking in unison regarding their performance. They say that they are doing well to address the economic hardship in the country currently. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello there.
I'm calling from Plateau State.
Your name again, please.
Hello?
Yeah, your name again.
Please turn down the volume of your TV. If you are waiting to hear our reply on your TV, then of course it's going to be delayed. So just talk to us, you know, through your phone, and that way we get to hear
calling
you.
Back again.
This is an opportunity. We don't know who is watching. You know, these governors might be paying attention. So if you're not satisfied with what your governors are doing, come out, say it, and pinpoint. You know, respectively, by the way, and then pinpoint your own. You know, the areas that you think they should work on and improve on. All right, we have another caller. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, your name and location, please.
My name is Jacob. I'm calling from Benue State.
It's good to have you from Benue. How is Benue today?
Benue is wonderful. Benue is wonderful.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Yeah, what I'm trying to see, you know, as long as there was what we call fuel subsidy, you know, whatever the governors are doing, whatever they are trying to do, the basic thing is the fuel price is high. If you give people money, they want to go to the farm. The price of Okada man going to the farm is high. The price of the taxi man going to the farm is high. So once the fuel subsidy is removed, everything has skyrocketed. What are you going to do? Are we not going to look at me? I'm going to the farm. Whatever I want to go and do to the farm, the Okada man taking me to the farm is expensive. Whatever I'm going to buy, even the food I'm going to buy, or the fuel I'm going to the farm, is still high. So everything centers on the fuel. We should address the issue of this fuel crisis. Then we will now have everything will rise. I believe that everything is going to stabilize. Not with these genius of trying to say they are going to give farmers money. If you give me money, good and fast. I will use the money and go and farm. And I will say very expensive because what I'm going to buy in the market is still very expensive. The traders who are taking everything to the market, they are paying for that. They have to go through cars and any kind of money, which the diesel price is high, the fuel price is still high, and nobody knows when this thing is going to come down, when it's going to go up.
We've seen now.
There are some places you buy fuel 710 naira per liter, and the diesel is about 1,500 naira per liter. We use truck, we use small cars.
Yeah. I don't know if you're still there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Just to point out, there are some governors who have, said that they've subsidized public transportation, for instance, to address these impacts on the citizenry. But what is your take on Governor Hyacinth Alia's approach towards addressing these issues?
He has done very, very well. From according to book, it's 1,000 naira. But how many? If you go there, there's a queue. That subsidize everything. There's a queue. These are not small. Most of the buses you cannot even take load.
Right.
You have to now go to some other companies which can take load. They are charging you because they are taking their fuel. They are buying fuel very, very expensive. They have done very well in that aspect. But it's only for people who are traveling, not for. They don't have trucks. We don't have trucks in anything that do go for all these market things or this. You have private cars, private companies. The demo this that is doing this show is only relevant to within the metropolis. We should not say we can go to business and go to Vandica, but we cannot carry goods. We cannot carry any farming food.
Right, exactly. We do appreciate your contribution, and it's very good that you've contextualized the point that there's only so much the governors can do because the problem is much bigger at a national level compared to the little interventions that they might actually make in this era. But of course, for a much larger conversation is that the subnationals are not pulling their weight in trying to address exactly. So leaving much to be desired.
And to be more deeper, the Nigeria's Governors Forum not only are pushing for also crop, making sure that there is many more crop production, but also they said, okay, I would continue on that. We have a caller. Good morning. Please reduce the volume of your TV.
Turn down the volume of your TV set. Hello. Hello.
We can literally hear ourselves instead of hearing him.
It's a simple, logic. The moment, I don't know how best to explain this. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the program. Your name, please.
Yes. Good morning. I'm speaking from Niger State.
Come again.
I'm speaking from Niger State.
Okay. Welcome to the program. Thank you so much for calling in. What do you make of Governor Bago's intervention? Do you think it's... Yeah, go ahead.
So, I want to complain to you that what governors are doing to retirees is not good. When they give them something to share like palliative, they don't normally give retirees. So, what's going to intervene for us, please?
Is that what is happening in Niger State?
Yeah. That's what governors are doing for retirees.
Yeah. Is that what is happening in Niger State?
Yeah. They are forgetting the retirees. They don't know that they are the people that voted them to power.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for calling in. I think he was more focused and just making the point. I'm sure he didn't get to hear me. It would be interesting to know if that is actually what is happening with regards to... But obviously, I think there's a consensus that retirees are not being taken care of in this country.
Especially in Niger State. I mean, right. There was a Saturday we opened the phone line and we got a lot of calls from Niger State people, indigents, explaining and complaining about retirees, pensioners and all that. So it's really a sad situation happening, and it's something that, the people of Kogi are pushing for, and we hope the governor look into it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, your name and location, please.
Queen General from Delta State. Worry.
Your name, please?
Queen.
Queen, it's good to have you. Happy Women's Month. I'm so happy, honestly.
Women's Month?
Yes. We're still in March, so we're celebrating women for the longest time.
Thank you for calling in, Queen.
It's good to have you. Go ahead. What's happening in Benue, I think?
My state, there is nothing good that is going to come direct back because Delta State, the hardship is end, just like we are living in air. No good road, no good infrastructure, everything is just down.
But what about the current economic hardship? Do you think your governor is doing well to address and ameliorate the pains of the people?
Sheriff is doing nothing.
What? Come again?
I said the government is doing nothing. The hardship is not you. Come to wherever is zero, no road, no infrastructure. DSC, the Delta Sea company is done. NPA is done. All the company worry all are packed for more than 15 years. Everything they are saying in the news is just for formality. There is no good road, nothing port home, all the road, the federal road, the worry, nothing. The community road, zero. Nothing is going on.
What about the food crisis happening? How are you people faring in Delta State?
Sincerely speaking, you cannot use 1,000 naira to get a car meat. The other day I went to the market, I didn't sell today. 2,000 naira beef is at the 8 pieces. There is nothing. 5 seeds of tomato, 37 seeds of tomato, that is for 500 naira. Here you will get that. The hike of price is 000. We are starving. Graduate short person. You come to the task, all the graduates is prepared. You that are graduates, you don't have a job. Your husband is a graduate, you don't have a job. Both of you just private by DAYBREAK. You cannot move both of say that from this January to this March. I cannot say that I have 1,000 naira that we say that is in my home, in my house, or even my husband's account.
Okay.
Really
Queen,
sad.
really understand where you're coming from. Thank you so much for joining the conversation and for shedding light on the situation in Delta State. Thank you so much for calling.
And Happy Women's Month again, because I just had to punch Abdullahi on that. Tell me you don't know that the entirety of March is left for women. No, it's March. March is that time. I'm the woman representative. I'm telling you, this is exactly how
I'm saving my energy because the fasting just began.
But it's really
I don't have anything against women.
It's really sad what is happening, in Delta. I mean,
but what she's saying is something you can say about every other state.
Of course. But then there is this emphasis
poverty.
of they're not feeling the impact of their governor, and that is a sad thing. So also the Governors Forum, as I was about saying, is that they are also making plans of buying these food items and then reselling them at cheaper prices.
But guess what? When we talk about subsidy removal, guess who is on board with subsidy removal? Governors. Even before President Buhari's administration came to an end, they were the ones pushing for the removal of subsidy. Now they're getting a lot more money from FAC. So they should be able to do more than what they were doing before. I think someone else is on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Edmund Mine. I'm calling from Plateau State, though I'm going to talk about Adamawa State because that's my state of origin.
Okay. State of origin or state of residence?
No, his state of residence is Plateau State.
From Adamawa State, I'm just in Plateau to work at
Okay.
Go ahead.
If you can, let's talk about the two because we also like to hear what's happening in Plateau, but go ahead.
Okay, first of all, let me talk about my state because, that. First of all, I would like to recognize the Excellency Governor of Adamawa State, Governor Modi Kinte, because on marking, I will give him 60 over 100 because he's trying better. In some ways, some days back, almost was it, 4 days back, I was watching one program, the interview with Daniel Bola. He was talking about the intervention of state has almost increased by 300% equally. Some days back, I posted it on my Facebook saying that, okay, where is this money that federal government has allocated to the state government is going, because to me personally, it's not something to write home about, because the challenges and the hardship in the country, if you come to think of what the governors are aiming, we should not stop. We should stop eyeing just the federal government, that the federal government is not doing the right thing. Equally, the state government has issues. So for my governor, the reason why I give him 60, because he has tried in building infrastructure and security architecture of the state of Adamawa State. And recently, I just saw he launch a program, trying to eradicate poverty, whereby he's giving 50,000 token to people, which is very good. But is that the major things to do? Okay, there's a saying that says for you to give me fish, it's better for you to teach me how to fish.
Yeah.
So I don't bind the idea, of sharing the money. There's a lot of things that you're supposed to do. Okay, any season is fast approaching, and majority of people living within the state are farmers. So we should have something, or try to subsidize the farm input for the farmers, so that they equally can benefit from his government. And sharing 50,000, if you give me today, I'll just squander it within a week, and it is over. And my poverty and the hardship will continue to go. So I suggest, to me personally, he should look into a way that, since he has tried based on the security architecture, at least Adamawa is now more calm than before. He should try and input into agriculture, so that people, if you have the food, the crisis will reduce. Because the major problem we have now is basically on food. What do I eat? What do I eat? That's what the major problem we are facing.
Okay, thank you so much.
With that, I don't want to wait. Okay, you want to say something?
No, we were hoping you were going to say something about Plateau State.
For Plateau State, equally the government is trying. Since I do stay around, I can see, based on some few things, though. When he came into office, there was that security challenges. You can remember what happened in Mongo and some of the local government within the Plateau State. But by now, things are subsiding, and he's, when there's such a crisis, definitely be distracted on what to do, because of you hearing killing here, you hearing killing. So for now, the governor is focused, and he's trying his best, and I can give him equally 50 over 100 based on what he's doing, because there was a time I heard that he sacked some workers, but I later heard that no, he has equally bring them back on board and equally give them their job back. At least that's a good way to go about it. And at least the family of those people now, at least if they were complaining now, by now they are no longer complaining. At least they'll have something to feed on, and at least I will equally suggest him as well, because Plateau is none of their farming activities. He should keep more security architecture, so that the state should be at the security to be minimal, so that people will get back to farm. Like me personally, I like farming. And because of the skill challenges, I don't want to go to farm on Plateau before Fulani month or something like that. Will go and chop my head off.
Right, okay. Elmon, thank you so much for the perspective. Appreciate you for joining the conversation. Even though, as someone from Adamawa State myself, I can understand where he's coming from with regards to the interventions.
I didn't know Nigerians could be polite if they want to. I mean, he said the governor is doing good with infrastructure, even though not all, but then he's doing, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to governance, I think there's now this public realization that even if politicians promise you heaven on earth, they can't deliver. They can only do their best and leave the rest for the next administration.
They should do
and
the best,
I think
honestly.
at this point in time, most Nigerians are just asking for the bare minimum.
Exactly.
Security.
Nobody is asking for too much.
A very well-coordinated economic plan that allows small businesses to thrive, that allows people to set up their businesses, and that will guarantee sustainability of their lives and their livelihood. And he talked about giving people fish instead of teaching them how to fish. I believe
and that is what has been happening.
Skill acquisition is going to be one of the leading areas that would probably solve significantly our poverty crisis, because one way for people to get out of poverty somewhere is for them to be gainfully employed or for them to have jobs.
But Abdullah, you'd agree with me that for about 4 to even 10 years now, Nigerian youth have come out of their shell and have equipped themselves with enough skills, business knowledge, and are into smaller businesses. Still room for improvement.
We're seeing a trend, but there's significantly more people that are unemployed right now because they don't have the skills. Yeah, but
it has to come with the economy, because the people already that have the skills, I know a lot of people who are just freely giving back to their community, with the knowledge. But then still, there is still that problem of the economy is not stable for, and it's not right for the small business owners. It's a tough time for even big businesses.
Exactly. So you can imagine, if you situate the problem, how small businesses are doing, even though the federal government is just starting its nano cash conditional grants with 50,000. I mean, 10 years ago, if you give someone 50,000 for a small business, it's good money. But now 50,000 with inflation, they will say thank you, but it's not going to be significant enough to make a difference.
It will get you a 3-pack of noodles. That's what 50,000 can do.
It's a rather unfortunate situation.
Honestly, and I think that's one thing Nigerians have been pushing for, saying we don't want palliative, we just want a better economy. We don't want the palliative because it's wasting of money that will not really curb, the issues in the country.
Enough of the handouts. That's basically it. Let's have a systemic reform that will allow and guarantee successes for every Nigerian who's willing to do the hard work. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Really appreciate your thoughts and your opinions on this one. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about an issue that is fast developing, that is causing quite the polarization between the Nigerian Senate and the presidency regarding the 2024 budget. More on that after the break. Join us again.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Now it's time for a second discussion. So over the weekend, the Northern Senators Forum raised concerns over alleged budget padding amounting to about 3 trillion naira, the 2024 budget. Now, according to Ningi, the Senate passed a budget of 25 trillion naira, but Tinubu's implementation allegedly amounted to 28 trillion naira, including the additional 3 trillion naira. He further claimed that there was a separate budget drafted on the ground, unbeknownst to the lawmakers. Now, according to him, the forum has engaged consultants to review the budget meticulously over the past 3 months. They aim to present their findings to Senate President Godswill Akpabio and President Tinubu. Now, additionally, they intend to discuss other critical projects, such as the Mambila Power Project, Ajakuta Steel Company, and River Niger dredging, expressing disappointment with the administration's performance. However, Senator Yemi Aderamodu, chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, and the presidency have dismissed all these allegations. Well, we will be talking and diving deeply into all of this and what it means for the ordinary Nigerian. Now, our guest in the studio today is Honorable Idris Kalgo. He is an entrepreneur and a politician. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
It's good to have you here.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
All right, so let's take a look at the picture in general, Honorable. What is your take on all of these implications, and just explain it to an average Nigerian to understand exactly what's happening in the Senate regarding the budget?
Well, let me start by saying it's so unfortunate, and we keep going back and forth all the time. The padding of a thing. There's a saying that says there's no smoke without fire. This is coming from a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a well-respected senator. This is not the first time he's been in the Senate. is well experienced and somebody who have fought in so many political fights, Abdul Nengi, to come up on the national, let me say, not TV, on the BBC, and said that there's a pattern of almost 3 trillion naira. We're not talking about 3 billion or 300 billion. We're talking about 3 trillion naira. So you ask yourself, what is going on? And this is a senator who was there when the president was presenting the budget. And committee upon committee, he happens to be one of the committees and one way or the other. So he knows what he is saying. So it means it is true. Because for the presidency to come up and then deny it, and some members of the northern senators to as well come on and say that no, there's nothing, there's no any smoke, nothing. So you ask yourself, like, what is really going on in this country?
Is it fair to say that, you know, it's too early to tell who is misleading who, or who has the fact or who doesn't have the fact? Because he has come up with a number, and, you know, from the president, we heard from one of the president's media aide, Bayo Nanuga, who said, listen, this is baseless, this is misleading, there is no iota of truth. And then we have some senators who also said, listen, Senator Nengi is on his own as far as this issue is concerned, because we don't know what he's talking about. Give me a sense of how best to situate this. How do we separate the politics of, you know, the element of the politics in the conversation, because Senator Nengi is on the platform of the PDP, who is the main opposition party in the country right now. How do we situate it properly? Because we need a lot of context to understand what is actually going on, because the National Assembly did jack up what was earlier proposed by the president in the 2024 budget.
The big question is, do we trust the presidency or the president, or the Senate president, or the senators? Then you go back to history. This is the same Senate president who on the national TV says to the other senators that a token has been sent to your account, so go and enjoy your weekend. And then let's all change it and say it's a prayer. So do you think there's a trust between these people and the government, between the people and the government? Who is telling the truth? And do you think Senator Nengi will have anything to lose out of it? Definitely, for Senator Nengi to say it, it means it is true. And don't forget, in this country, if he decides not to say anything or keep quiet, he's going to benefit one way or the other. But now he's saying it out. And then we have 3 senators from the Northern Forum saying no. How many senators do we have from the North? Why are others not talking? We have well-respected senators from the North. We're far better than all these new amateurs who just came into the Senate. Why are the other senators not talking? We have people like Adam Walio, who is not saying anything. We have Tambo, who is not saying anything. We have people like Adams Oshomole. So many people who are, we know that these are people that well-credible people who defend the democracy at all costs. They are not saying anything.
Yeah, but also, what if we're going to stick to the facts of the matter, right? Padding is rather ambiguous, isn't it?
Sure.
Because if we look at the details of the budget, the benchmark that was set before the budget was signed last year, the exchange rate that was set, all of that has been overtaken by the current economic reality. I think the presidency submitted an exchange rate of 750 naira to the dollar. That was last year. Now, the official rate of exchange rate has gone up significantly, almost by 30 to 40% right now at the official market. So it's safe to say that these changes could be what Senator Nengi is talking about, because right now it is unrealistic. There's no way you're going to get 800 naira to the dollar in this country, even at the official rate is over 1,000 naira right now. So those changes are perhaps what he's presenting as budget padding.
No. Let me go back a little bit back to history. We have projects like the Mambila projects, Ajakuta still rolling, and others. This project keep coming into the budget, but nothing is happening in all these aspects. So who is fooling who here? So you get to understand all these things, dollar or not dollar, no. It has nothing to do with all this. It is a way for them maybe to find a way how they can siphon money to their own pockets, or one way or the other. We keep having this project in different, how many years in our budgets. But yet, go to Mambila project site. There's nothing going on there. Ajakuta as well. Nothing is going there. So what is happening? And also the Niger Delta region. Yet nothing is happening there. So you ask yourself that question. Well, the Ononuga said something about he was actually even trying to accuse the senators of, not even accuse, saying that the senators increased about 1 point something trillion on the proper normal proposed budget by the president. So he knows what is happening. So is he trying to cover up? Or is there any error?
But isn't that the standard procedure when the National Assembly or the legislature has the power of appropriation? The president proposes, I want to spend 10 naira on this, and then the House of Reps and the Senate decided, oh, we think you're going to need more than 10 naira to address this issue, and then they increase the budget by close to 2 trillion naira or so, give or take.
When do we start?
That is standard procedure, isn't it?
Yeah,
because they have the power of appropriation.
Absolutely, they have. But you look at it from, if you look at it from 2015, you check out our budget. How much is our budget? It's around 765 trillion, and during Buhari's time, rockets 10, 20, some. You understand? And then we are still at this point, and then people are still suffering again. So even if you are talking about, let's say there's the dollar of the thing, increment of the thing is there, how much are we budgeting now? What are we putting on place? How much are we putting on ground on it? What are the people getting out of it? And then these people, all of a sudden, they came up and all they do is padding. So what is the solution now?
Are we jumping to the conclusion that this padding is, assuming if what Senator Ningi says is the truth and nothing but the truth, are we assuming that this is a corrupt practice?
Absolutely it is. There's no fire without smoke. It's obvious and it is clear.
But what does it prove, though?
It proves a lot because it means there's this connection between the executives and the judiciary.
I mean the legislature.
The legislature, I mean. Or there's no trust between them. Because we are now hearing two oppositions of a story. This one is saying this and the other one is saying that. So who has the power to do all these things? The president has submitted his own budget, and now the senators are doing it on a different way. So who is the beneficiary of all these things? That is the big question.
So already this is a time where Nigerians already don't really trust the leaders as it is. And with this disconnect that you're pointing, if at all this alleged padding happens, what is the implication on Nigerians?
Poverty upon poverty and suffering. Because what these people do, they only care about themselves. They enrich themselves on a daily basis. We have seen so many cases like this, and nobody is prosecuting anybody. Nothing is happening. Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians are hardworking people. All what they need is to have an atmosphere where they can do their businesses. It is not there. No any infrastructure for them to do, no electricity. Everything is not working. Almost everything is not working. Insecurity of a thing. People are suffering on a daily basis, dying. And then all you do is to work on something that will get to your pocket alone. I expect Ononuga report to be like, okay, we will investigate this. And I expect the president to make a comment, not from his own aid, because this is something very serious. We don't expect this coming from the USA. Where's the president? Let him come and talk to Nigerians. That's how to govern people. If there's a tension in the country, people feel like, okay, these people are not doing the right thing. What we are supposed to get, they're cornering it into their pockets just for them to benefit and their family.
Yeah, but if we situate it properly, this is not the Nigerian Senate accusing the president of not going by the appropriation bill or the appropriation act of 2024. This is one senator out of 109 senators making this allegation. So it doesn't carry the same weight. It's not the institution or the National Assembly itself that is alleging that the presidency is using a different budget. It's one senator.
Not just one senator, the chairman forum of the Northern Senators.
Yeah, but speaking
yes,
as Senator Abdul Ningi.
Sure. For him to speak, definitely there's something on the ground. He's a senator.
But his own people, senators from the northern part of the country,
yes,
in the same northern forum, have denounced him by saying that by saying that this is just blackmail.
How many senators do we have in the north? How many of them deny him? Just 3 of them.
Well, the others have not endorsed his allegations.
Of course. And those who are going against it, if you look at it, one is from Maiduguri, one from Benue State, APC government, and then the other one too from an APC government who happens to come from the same zone from the Vice President Kashim Shettima. What do you expect? First time in the Senate.
Okay, now it's looking, now at this point, it's looking bad for Nigerians, because if people are saying we've been voting the same people and then we're taking them out and bringing someone, and then now we're realizing that just because you are a first-timer in the Senate, you can't really represent us as it should be. Should Nigerians be worried?
Well, they should, because some Nigerians made a great mistake by voting the wrong people in the position. It's not about who you vote in. It's about what that person can do or represent his own people. We have seen cases whereby some senators or some members of House of Reps go into their constituency distributing good things, food, machinery, so many things. These 3 senators who debunk all these things, show me a single one of them that went to support his own people. Yeah, it's all about the people. Yeah, and then if you look at it closely, you understand this is politics. In politics, because people elect you in, they expect you to go and do what they actually want. Not what you want, or not what your boss wants, but what your people in your own constituency or your central district wants.
But it's, to be fair also, Senator Abdul Ningi did bandy the figure 3 trillion naira, but he has not shown documents, has not shown facts to prove his point that this is actually what is happening. We've not seen the data, we've not seen proof to say that this allegation has credibility, and therefore we need to interrogate it further. It's at this moment just an allegation coming from a member of the opposition, who is naturally supposed to be in the opposition, even as far as our political culture is concerned.
Let me tell you something, my brother. If I am a president, I will pay more attention to my opposition, because your opposition will tell you all your mistakes, the errors in your government. If you pay attention to your opposition, your government will work well, because your opposition will tell you the things where and how you get it wrong. Then you fix it. But if you are saying, because I'm in opposition, I can't tell you the opposite of what you are saying, or I can't correct you, then it means you are wrong.
You know, the goal of the opposition is to take over power. It's not to stay in opposition. They're not trying to fix your government for you.
That was why I said to you, if I am a president,
right?
You understand? If I am a president,
but clearly, we know the situation with the relationship between the PDP and the APC. I mean, they have this frenemy kind of relationship, because most of them have either been members of the PDP who are now in APC, or APC who later joined PDP to win elections, and so on and so forth. But the truth of the matter is, as far as this issue is concerned, I mean, budget padding became very popular back in 2016, in the early years of the Buhari administration, and we understood that it was, you know, wrongful allocation of, or some sort of irregular allocation of resources in the budget to certain projects or things like that, with the aim of trying to siphon those funds. In Senator Abdul Ningi's comments in that BBC interview, we didn't get the details of that. And that's why many people are saying, let's take it with a grain of salt, as far as, you know, whether this is true or not. He has made an allegation that needs to be interrogated, but we can't jump to conclusion and he said and say that everything he's saying is nothing but the truth.
You know, if you listen to the interview clearly, you know, he says that we will take it up. We'll meet the president and the Senate president. It means they have the evidence. And for Abdul Ningi to come on the BBC interview and say this is what is happening, he won't just say things just like that. Definitely, they have the information, they have the evidence and the papers and whatever they have to do to show. I think that's why he said they want to meet the president and the Senate president on this.
I think why Abdullah keeps emphasizing on that, we all know how controversial Senator Abdul Ningi has been. I mean, there was a time where there was this alleged palliative of about 2 million naira, and he said, oh, there was a money shared and I didn't get it. All of that went out. So that a bit is putting a bit of doubt in Nigerians. Like, could it be, you know, he's putting his people first, or is it just him acting as an opposition leader? Even though at this point, I don't think politics should be involved. It's all about Nigerians. We're way past election period. That's when politics should matter. But then right now, these people are seeking for, you know, good governance from the Senate, the presidency, and the governors as well. But then, what if at all this happened? Because we're still working on an allegation. It's still alleged until, you know, they're able to bring up real proof for Nigerians to see and say, okay, right, he is actually right. And everywhere, you don't blame people for not really believing until they see the proof. So what should be the measures that should be put in place in order to avoid all of this, you know, alleged padding? And how can Nigerians get accurate, you know, transparency when it comes to budget appropriation?
You know, I believe Abdul Ningi is talking from his own, on behalf of his own people, because I happen to know him for quite long, and he's somebody that whatever, before he do anything, he will consult his people first. And in that interview, he also said the North has not been properly compensated in the budget. So it means he's talking, it's like it's a discussion after their own meeting with the northern senators. If the president can present a budget on the national TV, that's where I'm coming back to your question. Why can't we have the appropriation senators and reps do it on the national TV?
Well, we had the committee hearings where there was the public hearings, the budget defense, and all of that.
That's just hearing. But we need to do better. It should be on the national TV, on radios, so that people will understand properly. Because if we had this everywhere in the national but it was heavily reported.
We know the key details in the budget.
The report is not enough. It's not enough. Let it be like, okay, today we're going to do this with the National Assembly on preparation on this and that. If you're on this field, this is your own date and you're on time. Tune out to your TV or your radio and listen. If we had all these things, do you think Abdul Ningi will be saying all these things? Because everybody will be fully aware. But nobody's aware. And Nigerians don't even pay more attention now on what's happening on the government. Everybody's trying to survive. So that was why, when after this interview, people were like, okay, so this is really happening. What is going on?
Some say, you know, just going back to Onaniga's reaction from the presidency, some of the senators who spoke, they say this is classic muddying the water technique. That, you know, you're trying to give a dog a bad name just to hang it. And this is just doubling down on the Tinubu against the North rhetoric, which Senator Abdul Ningi is trying to engineer by saying that, you know, there's this 3 trillion budget pardon. The president is working with a different budget that was appropriated for him by the Nigerian National Assembly. But also, as far as the state of the nation is concerned, give me a sense of where this whole conversation matters as far as the everyday running of this country is concerned. Because surely the Senate, the House of Representatives, still has the power of oversight. So every naira or every kobo that is spent without appropriation, Senator Abdul Ningi knows the process, knows the procedures. At committee level, they can still query various expenditures, as they are doing right now with regards to past expenditures, whether by the Buhari administration or administrations before then. They still have those powers to investigate and interrogate all this expenditure. So him jumping the gun and coming out to the public and saying these things looks like there's an ulterior motive.
Absolutely. And nobody's giving any dog any bad name. We're just telling the truth. And the presidency should do better in responding to this, not just from Onaniga. We expect the president to talk about it. If somebody is giving you a bad name, what do? You defend yourself. So there's nothing wrong in it. It's just like me, you do something which I don't like, or I'm not okay with it, or you do something wrong. Somebody may accuse you, be it true or not. Then you're supposed to come out, defend yourself. Make people understand what is really happening. Not only on that aspect, on the pardon of a thing, but you as a president, so many people believes in you, and they expect you to do better. Now something huge is coming from the senator, and all of a sudden your essay is saying this is politics. Have we checked it very well? Have we investigated properly before you say you made that comment? Because Onaniga's report comment is just like adding more fuel to the fire.
Well, we hope you know, the presidency and the northern senators forum rather should come out and give more.
Or the Nigerian Senate entirely. Because I believe, yeah, they did say that the spokesperson of the Senate was supposed to address the media on this particular issue over the weekend. Hopefully, we're going to get some kind of clarity regarding this allegation, just so we can clear the air, and perhaps Nigerians would
understand what's happening.
Exactly.
You know, in the country. Well, thank you so much, Honorable Idris Kalu, for joining us to, you know, give an insight on this matter. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, with that, of course, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, it will be time to look at the front pages of the national dailies. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the program. You're watching Daybreak on Trust TV. Time for us to take a look at the papers this morning to bring you up to speed with the stories making the headlines. And we start off with a look at the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper for today, Monday, March 1st, 2024, and the first day of Ramadan. Here are some of the stories. 2 months after EFCC, the presidency is silent on Better Edu NSIPA, that's the National Social Investment Program Agency boss, who have all been indicted or are currently under investigation for alleged misappropriation of funds. And yeah, it's the radio silence is very loud, isn't it, Sumaya? That we've been talking about the Better Edu gate, and you know, Halima, who is also the suspended NSIPA boss, and apparently everything has gone quiet.
It's looking like just them losing their position is the punishment, but it shouldn't
Yeah,
be.
but they've not been sacked. They're suspended.
Okay, there's an
So what's going on?
What is happening?
Is 2 months not enough for us to actually get to the bottom of the situation? You know what they say about justice delayed, right? It's like justice denied. And I get this, feeling in my gut that we're not going to get justice as far as this issue is concerned. More on that story on page 5, yeah. Federal government denies budget padding, false Ningi's allegation. Ramadan begins today, as we all know, and the big story is about the unfortunate kidnapping in Kaduna. Parents of abducted Kaduna students cry out for help. We watched bandits shepherd our children to the bush. Escapees recount near-death experience. My brother shot dead trying to save his siblings. And you can see some of the pictures of abductees, those who were fortunate enough to escape, and it's just a very horrific development. I mean, Chibok was traumatic enough. Dapchi happened. So many other school abductions in the past. This one happening recently is just, it's right. It's just, yeah, it's just unfortunate.
We keep seeing these things happen, and in the span of 1 week, just 1 week, we had the IDP camps abducted in about 400 people in Borno State. We're having this in the Chikun local government area also, about 300 people. And then I think yesterday or on Saturday there was also the Sokoto students also, about 15
students that were kidnapped.
Exactly. So right now with the whole in school initiative, it's not looking.
The Safe School initiative is just
it's not safe at all.
It's failing to hit the target, and there is no gainsaying that. But in other news, workers trapped as 5-story building collapses in Anambra. Unfortunate development there. Page 8 has more on that story.
I hope they all survive that.
Yeah. 59 doctors resign in Nasarawa, alleged poor welfare. We're talking about the exodus of doctors and how the minister is talking about recruitment.
And how the minister is blaming the people.
So
you can't blame
what do you have to say about this one?
You don't give them better options.
Exactly. They cannot just keep suffering and smiling at the same time. 59 doctors. That, to me, I don't know what the doctor-to-patient ratio is in Nasarawa, but this is definitely going to affect them negatively. But that's it on the front page of the Daily Trust for today.
All right, let's move on to the Punch. The top of the page that says Tinubu launches the student loan on Thursday. That's foreign scholars seek inclusion. Okay, you'll find that on page 10 of the newspaper there, or 40 rather. Only foreign borrowing can save Naira. Clear the CBN debts. That's according to EIU. Now, some experts are saying, we need to get more, we should borrow more in order to save
how they say
Naira.
giving someone rope so that they can tie themselves. This is exactly what they mean.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't even sound right.
We don't need foreign borrowing to get out of this debt.
It doesn't sound right.
We need to limit our debt and then boost our GDP through local production and improved, output.
Exactly.
I don't think you're going out of debt by, we're going to save the Naira by borrowing more.
It doesn't even make sense.
No.
It doesn't sound right, honestly. And then if we can look at the examples of countries like China, where now they have more production and then they export.
They're the manufacturing
and all the
capital of the
payment is
world.
done in their own currency. If we can do that, that would definitely boost the Naira. When we can export and then use the Naira to pay and ask everybody, you have to pay in Naira. I think that would help the currency. All right, let's look at the major story there. It says schools in 14 states, FCT risk attacks, says the federal government. Honestly, we just want the federal government to do the needful. Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Katsina, FCT and others affected. 465 pupils, women in kidnappers' den. That number is alarming and scary. The federal government receiving U.S. support to free victims. Presidency alleges the sub-regional forces behind kidnappings. Now, if we all know of all of this, then something should be done. It's not about getting support from the US, to make sure the victims are freed. If it would be a rotational cycle, like they free these victims, but then others are kidnapped again, and then,
These are soft targets, Sumaya, and that's the whole point of the Safe School Initiative, to not make them soft targets anymore. The perimeter fencing, where are we with that? This school that was recently attacked, did it have perimeter fencing? Did it have security? We know of its vicinity and how prone to some of this attack it could be. So it's as if we know what the problems are, but the will to do something about the problem is just not there. And I think that's just to put it in summary.
What was terrifying about what happened in Kuriga village was the fact that they said it's been a while since they had a police station, which every locality should have, every village.
An outpost or a station.
Just exactly. And they said it has been a while. So honestly, that is disheartening. You realize that even with the chunk load of budgets being given to the defense, there is still a lot of people that are not feeling, the impact of the security agencies. And it's really sad. So below there, we have a pictorial of Jerusalem, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia, trying to sight the moon. Okay, that was yesterday, and of course the moon was sighted today. Everyone is fasting, so Ramadan begins today. Sultan 6 prayer against insecurity and hardship. Well, of course, everyone needs to put all hands on deck when it comes to prayer to do that, but we also need the necessary stakeholders to do the needful as well. Now, oil earning rise by 450 billion naira in 2 months. That's according to the federal government. Ogun police nab 3 for murder attempt. You find that on page 4. Blackout waters as hoodlums vandalize the transmission line. A really exhausting situation there. You find that on page 31. Now, these are some of the stories that you'd find on Punch newspaper today.
All right, The Guardian is up next, so let's take a look at the front page of The Guardian newspaper for today. Estimators peg exchange rate at 1,400 naira as naira finds fair value. More on that on page 6. This is the first time I've ever had to use the word estimators. You look at that infographic, the naira value measurement, and what that says about everything you need to know about our financial policy direction or fiscal policy direction. Delays, uncertainties in student loan scheme compound woes. This is an analysis on the pages of the Guardian newspaper. As Sumaya read earlier on the Punch, I think the president is sent to inaugurate the program, launch it. But in other news, federal government lawmakers fold budget pardon claim. Huriwa urges probe. That's the Human Rights Watch urging for a probe of the allegation. In other news, to stem rising food prices and anger in the land. I think this is an editorial from the Guardian newspaper for today. Security agencies mom as search for abducted Kuriga school pupils continue. Governors unveil proactive steps to address food crisis. Serap asks NCC to restore blocked phone lines. I think the NCC is not going back on this one. We've talked about, the same NIN linkage. And, to be fair to the NCC, there's been enough of an ample time that has been given to Nigerians to do the needful. So perhaps people should just go ahead and link it, and then your services will be restored. NDLEA intercepts illicit drug consignment in commercial bus engine, arrests 2 elderly citizens, grandparents, who are not responsible, caught in the drug cartel business.
This is really scary. I mean, there was a time we saw a 70-year-old man was arrested with drugs.
Why did you say it like that? The moment you said 70-year-old man, my mind went somewhere else.
No, you see this and you say, okay, there is this saying, the elders know better. So if you see someone...
Do they? Not all the time. We have elders.
It's looking like that.
Elders running the show in this country.
It's actually looking like that, and it's not. Really
but
great.
this is not how you want to age.
Indeed.
You don't want to age in a very disgraceful manner.
Indeed.
And unfortunately for these octogenarians or septuagenarians, they are going to find out the hard way that this is not the life that they should be, exploring.
A really sad situation there. All right, let's move on from the Guardian newspaper there. Let's take a look at The Nation. Major story there says presidency slams senator over budget padding claim. It's divisive antics to achieve primordial ends. 3 North senators kick. As well, you find that story, of course, on the Punch. Below the headmaster, it says audit reports indicts the NUPRC and customs for non-remittance into federation account. I mean, the customs have been doing a great job, even coming out to say this is how much we have, remit. But then now they're saying there is also, it's not all, alleged corruption happening there, and that is not what we need at this point. So we hope, there's a good deep findings of what is happening. Now, speaking on the major story here on the presidency slamming the senator, the mix-up was created by Ningi, that's according to the federal government. The appropriation bill signed into an act on January 1st, 2024 is 28.7 trillion naira and not 25 trillion naira as claimed by him. Now, this is what the presidency are saying to clarify that, because the 3 million alleged now, if they say it's 28, then it's
I'm not advocating that his comments should be thrown away because they lack validity, but it's not easy to manipulate 3 trillion naira in the budget.
It's a huge amount.
It's a huge amount that it can't go unnoticed. And I believe that if that was what was happening, more than one senator would be speaking out on this one. Yeah,
indeed. All right, we just hope to get more details on that, for the sake of Nigerians. PENCOM didn't give federal government 10 trillion naira loan. Agency, it's not a bank, says the DG. Okay, another clarification there. Disco explains the blackout in Kwara, Oyo, Ogun, and 40,000 Ogun farmers get lift. Now, if Discos are explaining all of this, we need to hear, in the whole of Nigeria, not just specific states, because even the FCT is suffering.
Especially the FCTs.
A week, yes, a week.
Especially the FCT.
So
I want to see the minister make good on his threat.
Indeed.
Of revoking their licenses, those underperforming discos and whatnot.
People need to take their job seriously. It's not even making sense. If you apply for the job, if you have it, then please, you need to do.
You're in the service industry, and power is central.
It is.
To the economy. We can't fix the economy with just policies if we don't have
power
structural, infrastructural issues like, power, for instance. Without power, tell me how we're going to revive the industries. Tell me how we're going to turn Nigeria into a manufacturing hub. Tell me how we're going to revitalize the likes of the southeast, for instance, where a significant part of manufacturing is done in that region. It just doesn't make any sense.
Now we keep
it's one thing
for production.
It's one thing to work on the reform and the legislation side by making sure these laws are business friendly, but it's another thing when people have to, consider cost of production by buying diesel every now and then to address all their issues along the value chain. So it just doesn't make sense. You look at the power sector; it's in shambles, and it explains a lot as to why we are where we are today. And I don't think that this posturing, this grandstanding from the Minister of Power is going to have the needed effect that it's supposed to have to improve the situation. It just doesn't look like, we're getting ahead of this issue.
It doesn't at all. I agree with you on that one, Abdullah. It does not. Nigerians are already complaining. I mean, we've been complaining for the longest time. And every day we know that we keep bringing out the problems, but then the solutions are what we're waiting for. But anyways, if you want, there is more stories on The Nation. You can pick The Nation and get those stories. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, with that, we've come to the end of the show. We appreciate you spending your 2 hours. Those that call in during the interaction session, appreciate your time. Please do stick around. At the top of the hour, 360 Sport would be here by Emmanuel Fashemi. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Do have a lovely day.
Thank you so much for joining us on the program. We'll see you next time. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Good morning.